When Dr. Taylor arrived at Cabrini, he had a vision in mind for where the college needs to get to in 2020, and a big part of that is increasing our Hispanic and international population. So really the goal for that arrived when DT arrived at Cabrini.
So our Cabrini 2020 Roadmap to Growth plan, it's actually several things. It's a strategic plan for the institution. It's a vision for us becoming a comprehensive university and not just a residential undergraduate campus. It's a business model and an enrollment management strategy. When I became president at Cabrini and I came in, I looked to see what what the business model was. Cabrini had traditionally only had two funnels for students. So the undergrad funnel was for the residential students, and then grad was largely in just education. There were a couple of other programs, but 95% of the graduate students were education, and many of them were off campus at 13 different sites with different school districts. So one of the things I felt that we needed to do significantly was diversify our enrollment portfolio, which means we would have a diversified business model.
In order to be a Hispanic serving institution, the federal government has defined that as an institution having 25% of their undergraduate enrollment coming from Hispanic students. So that's the firm number. And then DT has envisioned 10% of our undergraduate population being international students.
We're tuition driven institution, which means we're enrollment driven. And so if you only have really two portals of students coming in, then if one happens to decline, then that affects your business model.
When we enroll students, we really want to kind of do everything we can to help them succeed.
So if you've looked at any of Cabrini's history, you know that in 2007, 2008, we had very large enrollments. And then as the demographics in the area and nationally began to change, we started a decline. We sort of hit a bottom there a couple years back and have made some really great strides in stabilizing our traditional undergraduate enrollment. So it's been a little bit of a roller coaster, but for the past 3 years we've been at a nice even line when everyone else in the area seems to still be dipping up and down.
So before I got here as president, I looked up and we had less than 100, I think, completed applications from Hispanic students. So I'm finishing up my second year recruiting the third class of students for next year. We have over 400 applications from next year, from New Jersey all the way through the greater southeast Pennsylvania. And so every year we've grown by at least 100 or so, 150 of students. So one of the things we did was we had to go out, and I had to get out in the community and really increase our community awareness, our brand.
Really a formalized vision and being charged with, what are the strategies and how are we going to get from point A to point B. That's really the change, is that it's become much more strategic and intentional on both of those recruitment fronts for Hispanic and international.
Part of it is the world around us, is the world around us is changing, and so the demographics around us are changing, and so we need to adapt to that. And the worst thing we could do is just say, hey, we're just going to keep doing things the way that we've always done it for the last 60 years, because that would be ignoring the fact that the world has changed a lot. And so we're now looking to recruit new kinds of students that we had not always in the past, but those are the students that are out there that really kind of deserve a Cabrini education as much as anybody else. And that's a range. So what we've seen a big difference in the cultural diversity of our students coming in. That's not only kind of a good thing for enrollment, but I would say it's a good thing for education. Like, I think your education is a better education the more diverse our student body is.
And looking at the national trends, and especially the regional trends in the Philadelphia area, the number of traditional undergraduate students, seniors graduating from high school, has been a continual decline, and it's not going to change anytime soon. So in order for us to be sustainable as an institution, we need to be able to diversify our recruitment streams. We need other groups of students that we can recruit to kind of fill that gap is one reason why. And the other is who we are as an institution. You know, how does that relate back to our mission and you know, our founding patron saint, St. Francis Xavier Cabrini? It all ties together. So I think that, you know, it's important that when we look at what we're doing, we look at it from both lenses.